My husband transferred our joint savings into his mother's account without telling me. When I asked why, he said, "You would have just wasted it." I didn't argue. I just pulled out the separate business account he didn't know I had. When she tried to use the funds, she was met with a security lock and a message that read, "My name is Naomi. I'm 34 years old, and until recently, I was married to Marcus, who's 36. We were together for almost 8 years, married for 7. We lived in Henderson, Nevada, not too far from Las Vegas. No kids. We both agreed early on we weren't in a rush for that. I thought we were focused on building a stable future together. Marcus works in tech, something with hospital support software. It's not glamorous, but it paid well. I run a small event planning business. Weddings, corporate stuff, parties, you name it. It took a while, but after a few tough years, I started turning real profit around year 4. We had a system. We each deposited money every month into a joint savings account. That account was for big things. Emergency funds, house upgrades, a vacation fund, whatever we agreed on. That account was our shared safety net. Or at least, I thought it was. 2 months ago, I logged in to move some money over for a beach rental we were going to book. We had talked about taking a vacation for years. Nothing crazy, just a week in the Keys. I was actually excited, which is rare for me. But when I logged into the joint account, it was empty. Gone. All of it. Over $70,000 just vanished. I froze. At first, I thought I was looking at the wrong account. I double-checked. Same account number. Same login. But the balance showed $0. I texted Marcus. No answer. I called. Straight to voicemail. I waited a few hours and left work early. My heart was pounding the entire drive home. I kept thinking, maybe it's a bank error. Maybe something got flagged. Maybe he moved it for some reason and forgot to tell me. When I walked in, he was sitting on the couch eating a sandwich and watching Wheel of Fortune like it was a normal day. I didn't even say hi. I just said, "Marcus, where's the savings?" He didn't even look surprised. "Oh yeah," he said casually. "I transferred it to my mom's account. She's helping manage it." I blinked. "You what?" "I moved the money to her account," he said again. "She's going to keep it safe so it doesn't get wasted." I laughed, not because it was funny, but because I didn't know what else to do. Wasted on what? He didn't even hesitate. On your dumb vacation ideas and your business reinvestments that never go anywhere. That last part hit me hard. I'd been putting blood, sweat, and tears into my business. I brought in clients, planned events, kept our bills paid during COVID, and this man, my husband, just called it useless to my face. I was so angry I couldn't even form words. I just stood there. Then he said, "I earned most of that money anyway." That was a flat-out lie. Since my business started growing, I'd been matching his contributions to that account dollar for dollar. In some months, I even put in more. But he didn't see that. He didn't care. I didn't yell. I didn't scream. I just stared at him and said, "Okay." He raised his eyebrows. "That's it?" "Yeah," I said. "That's it." But it wasn't. What Marcus didn't know was that I had a separate account. It wasn't a secret account to hide money from him or anything. It was a business account under my LLC. Legally mine. He never asked about it, and I never offered. I used it for my business expenses, payments from clients, supplies, staff, the whole thing. And that account had $118,000 in it. I also had a sub-account, a newer one, set up 6 months earlier. I called it Profit Reserve. It only had about $4,000 in it originally. But I had a feeling, deep down, that I'd need it someday. Call it intuition. I started putting more into it little by little, just in case something ever went sideways. After that conversation with Marcus, I knew what I had to do. The next day, I moved $30,000 into the profit reserve sub-account and set up access through a custom online portal, a mirror site my tech friend helped me build. It looked real. If someone logged in, it would show the funds and basic controls, but none of it would actually work. Then I created a message that would pop up if anyone tried to move funds. It read, "This account is currently frozen. Attempted access has been reported to authorities." It wasn't real. The money was safe in my main business account. But the message? It looked terrifying. I knew Claudine, his mom, would try to get her hands on it eventually. That woman never liked me. From day one, she treated me like I was some gold digger or outsider stealing her baby boy. She always called the shots in Marcus's life. Always needed to be in control. I played polite for years. I smiled at holidays and ignored her snide remarks. But I never forgot them. Now she had her hands on our money. So I sent her a message. Friendly. Polite. Just enough to make her nervous. "Hi Claudine, just reaching out to say if you ever have any questions about the transferred funds or need clarification, let me know. Hope you're well." That was all. And then I waited. 3 days later, the trap was triggered. 3 days after I sent that message to Claudine, the trap snapped shut. It was a Friday morning. I was in the middle of setting up a corporate retreat in Boulder City when I got a string of missed calls from an unknown number. Then my phone buzzed with a text from Marcus. "What the hell did you do to my mom's account? No greeting." All caps. I stared at the message for a second, then turned off my screen and went back to laying out name cards for the conference tables. I didn't answer him. Not right away. 5 minutes later, he called again. This time I picked up. His voice was full panic, no more smugness left. "You messed with the account. She tried to move some money for her bills and got locked out. There's some crazy message about authorities being notified. What the hell is going on?" I let him rant for a minute, then I said in the calmest voice I could manage, "I didn't do anything. But maybe this is what happens when you move large amounts of money without the account holder's consent. You're threatening my mother with legal trouble? You're really going that low?" I smiled to myself. "No, Marcus. You did that all on your own when you moved our savings without telling me. Did you think there wouldn't be consequences?" He didn't respond right away. I could hear him breathing, like he was pacing. Then he snapped. "You're seriously overreacting. It's not like I spent it. I moved it for safekeeping. If you were being responsible, none of this would have happened. That was it for me." "Marcus," I said slowly, "we are legally married. That account was shared. You don't get to make decisions like that alone. You crossed a line." He started to talk again, but I hung up. That same day, I went to my lawyer and filed for divorce. Let me tell you what Claudine did next, because she wasn't one to take anything lying down. She started calling people. Mutual friends. My parents. Even one of my old clients. Spreading her version of the story. Saying I was unstable. That I'd sabotaged her finances. That I was trying to punish her and ruin Marcus financially because I was bitter. She went full soap opera. Marcus followed her lead. He posted a vague Facebook status that read, "When someone shows their true colors, believe them. Loyalty is dead these days." People started reaching out, asking what was going on. I didn't say a word publicly. I kept screenshots, messages, bank records. Quiet. Professional. But I wasn't done. A week later, Marcus showed up at my business office unannounced. He looked like he hadn't slept in days. He asked to talk. My assistant offered him coffee. He declined. I stepped into the hallway with him. "You filed for divorce without even discussing it?" he asked. You drained our savings without discussing it, I said back. He rubbed his hands through his hair. Naomi, come on. You're seriously going to throw away our whole marriage over money? No, Marcus. I'm ending the marriage because you lied, stole, and gave our future away to your mother. He shifted, trying to act wounded. She needed help, no, I cut in. She wanted control. And you gave it to her. You didn't protect me. You teamed up with her behind my back. He started to raise his voice. That's when my assistant stepped out of the office and said, "Is everything okay?" Marcus backed off. He left. I haven't seen him in person since that day. But the tension didn't stop there. About 2 weeks after that, Claudine tried to access my fake business portal again, this time from a different IP. She even tried guessing security questions. My tech friend flagged the login attempts and texted me, "Your favorite mother-in-law's back at it again." I took screenshots. Every attempt. Every message. I was building a file. Then, out of nowhere, Claudine filed a small claim suit. Not against Marcus. Not to recover the money he gave her. But against me. She claimed I had interfered with her finances and caused her emotional distress. It was laughable, but it was real. I countered with a full civil claim for misappropriation of marital assets and included my lawyer in every step. Marcus was pulled into it too. I served him papers at his work. His HR department got involved. He lost his job a week later. Not because of me. But because once people started looking closer, other complaints surfaced. I didn't plan that part. But karma's funny like that. After Claudine filed that petty claim against me, I wasn't even angry. I was ready. She thought she could twist the situation into her own little drama, painting herself as the victim and me as some cold-hearted, scheming wife. What she didn't expect was that I had every message, every transaction, every single piece of evidence neatly organized and timestamped. My lawyer was calm when he read her complaint. She just shot herself in the foot, he said. Let's push forward. So we did. But here's where things got worse for Marcus and his mother. And a little more complicated for me. About a week after the legal ball started rolling, I got a call from Marcus's cousin. I'll call her Tessa. She and I had always gotten along okay at family functions, but we'd never been close. When she called, I was confused. I almost didn't pick up. But curiosity got the better of me. Tessa said, "Naomi, I don't want to be in the middle of anything, but I think you should know what's going on." I stayed quiet. Let her talk. Apparently, Marcus and Claudine had been telling the entire extended family that I'd hacked their accounts, embezzled business funds, and was having a breakdown. Marcus told Tessa that I faked a second business account to trick his mother, and that I was mentally unstable. Said he was trying to get me help before it was too late. He was rewriting the whole story. Making himself the victim. Making me look like I'd lost my mind. But Tessa didn't buy it. "I know something shady happened," she said. And when I asked him to explain the banking stuff, he clammed up. He's lying. I don't know why, but he is. That call gave me something I didn't know I needed, confirmation. I wasn't crazy. He really was trying to turn the narrative. So I leaned in. The next twist came a few days later, during a hearing for Claudine's bogus emotional distress claim. She showed up dressed like she was attending a funeral. Full black dress, a tissue in her hand, even fake sniffles. She told the court I had created a fraudulent banking portal to traumatize her and lock her out of her own money. Then she said this: "She used my son for years. She married him for money. Then, when he gave me what he had worked so hard to save, she lashed out." I didn't say a word. My lawyer handled everything. He calmly asked the judge to review the full financial history from our joint account, the list of transfers, including dates, and proof that I had contributed 50% of all deposits for over 4 years. He also submitted a copy of the message Marcus sent me admitting he moved the money so it wouldn't be wasted. Then we showed that Claudine wasn't even authorized on the joint account. The transfer was done solely by Marcus. Not by me. Her claim fell apart in under 15 minutes. The judge didn't just dismiss the case. He warned Claudine that if she filed another meritless claim, she could be fined. But the best part? The judge ruled that her access to the funds violated Nevada marital asset laws. Because Marcus and I were still legally married when he moved the money, she could now be named in my civil claim to recover half. That's when Claudine lost it. She stood up, pointed at me, and screamed, "You little liar. You're ruining everything." Security escorted her out. I didn't smile. I didn't flinch. I just watched. Things kept snowballing. Marcus's reputation took a hit after his HR department started digging. One of the women who worked under him came forward with a complaint. Apparently, he'd been making inappropriate comments for months. The investigation reopened. He was let go. I found out later that Claudine tried to get him a job at her church's administrative office, but when they did a background check, they passed. They were spiraling fast. But then came the twist I didn't see coming. One evening, I was closing up the office when I saw a man waiting outside my building. It was Marcus's older brother, Alan. I hadn't seen him in years. He lived in Northern California, stayed far away from family drama. He looked uncomfortable, holding a manila envelope. "Naomi," he said. "I don't want to get involved. But I found something you might need." He handed me the envelope and left. Inside were printed emails. Dozens of them. Emails between Marcus and Claudine, planning the transfer months in advance. But more than that, talking about how to protect the money in case I ever filed for divorce. One email read, "If she tries anything, we'll claim she's unstable. That's our best bet." Another, "Start telling people she's erratic. That way we've laid the groundwork if we need to fight her in court." They'd been setting me up. 4 months. Gaslighting me. Trying to frame me before anything even happened. That changed everything. I took the email straight to my lawyer. He lit up. "This is gold. This is deliberate intent to defraud and manipulate. They just handed you their own noose." I nodded. But I wasn't smiling yet. Because I still wasn't finished. Once I had the emails in hand, everything shifted. Up until that point, I was defending myself, patching holes they tried to rip into my life. But now? Now I had the match and the gasoline. My lawyer immediately filed a motion to amend the civil suit. We added intentional fraud and conspiracy to conceal marital assets against both Marcus and Claudine. The emails made it clear, they didn't just move the money. They planned to discredit me. They talked about gaslighting me, trashing my name, and manipulating everyone around us to get away with it. It became a full-on legal war. And the judge did not take it lightly. Because this wasn't just some money dispute anymore. It was premeditated financial abuse. During the final hearing, Marcus showed up in a wrinkled dress shirt. He looked exhausted. His lawyer kept asking for delays, but the judge had no patience left. I watched Marcus try to explain those emails, say they were taken out of context and that they were just venting. It didn't work. The judge looked straight at him and said, "You knew exactly what you were doing. You tried to rewrite the facts before anything even happened. That's not venting. That's planning a cover-up." Then he turned to Claudine and added, "And you accepted stolen funds knowingly. You helped facilitate it. That makes you just as responsible." I won everything. Not just the $36,000 that was rightfully mine. The court ordered Marcus and Claudine to pay punitive damages for fraud, $60,000 total, split between them. That's on top of what they already owed me. And it didn't end there. Because of the emails and how they tried to smear me in their community and online, my lawyer helped me file a defamation claim. It wasn't just for show. We had written proof of Marcus telling people I was mentally unstable, cheating on him, never happened, and hacking bank accounts. He had no way to prove any of it. I had screen caps. Messages. Witnesses who admitted he'd been spreading stories behind my back. They settled out of court. Marcus had to issue a formal apology, in writing, acknowledging that he lied about everything. That apology was included in our divorce judgment. It's public record now. And Claudine? She had to sign a non-disparagement agreement. If she ever speaks my name again in a public or semi-public setting in a negative way, she'll owe me $10,000 for every offense. I even made sure the agreement included social media and implied references. They gagged themselves trying to ruin me. Now, here's where the twist hit them the hardest. You know how Marcus claimed I would have wasted the savings? Well, after the case closed and I got my settlement, I used the money, every penny of it, to open a second location for my event business. I bought a space in Summerlin, hired 3 more full-time staffers, and launched a new marketing campaign. That campaign? It featured me, standing in one of my finished venues, with the words, "No one takes your vision more seriously than someone who's had to fight for hers." It went viral locally. My client list doubled in 4 months. People asked about the story behind it. I never said a word. I didn't have to. Marcus and Claudine had already made enough noise to make sure the whispers traveled. I let their own words do the work for me. As for Marcus? He moved into a rundown apartment off Boulder Highway. He's been in and out of freelance tech gigs. Word got around about the HR complaints, and nobody wants to touch him. He tried launching some online service but it never took off. He sent me an email once. Short. Just said, "I made a mistake." I didn't reply. And Claudine? She sold her house. Rumor has it she moved to live with her sister in Phoenix. She's off social media now. Her bridge club fell apart after someone forwarded the court documents. Turns out when you try to sue someone with zero evidence and get humiliated in court, people stop inviting you to tea. And me? I'm doing better than I've ever done in my life. I sleep through the night. I laugh again, real laughs, not polite ones. I still have the business account, of course. But now it's got over $200,000 in it, and I check it every week, not because I'm scared someone will take it, but because it reminds me of who I am. People think revenge has to be loud. Fireworks, screaming, slammed doors. But sometimes, revenge is just standing still while everything they built on lies crumbles behind them. And smiling. Because you didn't have to lift a single finger. They did it to themselves.